Hello, namaste. Welcome to day number 86. Today, what I'm feeling with this energy is trying to teach us is trying to show us when we're getting lost to the thinking mind even more intensely. It's really starting to kind of put us in the pressure cooker when we're lost to the thinking mind. And that's why you might be feeling really intense symptoms, but then they'll just fall away really quickly, and then you might feel a really intense high. Like in hours, this can happen, right? Several different times. You can go back and forth between symptoms and feeling really good and aligned, and then symptoms. It's because things are moving so fast right now, and the energy is really trying to show us like, okay, you're in alignment, you're in your heart space, you're in the present moment, you're savoring right now. And then it's also it also shows us, okay, you're in the thinking mind, you're in duality, you're thinking about over there, you're thinking about being somewhere else. You're thinking about being somewhere else with someone else instead of just coming right here into this, your centered I am presence. So I'm feeling that the more we can savor the present moment and the more we can really surrender into the intelligence of life, that's going to really help us because there's so much energy right now. I know you guys can feel that too. And I know you can feel it getting stuck up in your centers at times. I've made a lot of videos about that recently. The key to really allowing this energy to flow and to allow this energy to naturally melt away the resistances and blocks within you is to really connect with your spacious nature, with presence, with coming into your heart center, your heart space. It can be so liberating. You can really liberate this energy to flow just naturally and freely through you if you can get to a place where you surrender thought or surrender needing to think. The mind's always going to try to come up with these thoughts to try to grab you, right? Because that's how the mind survives. It keeps you in thinkingness. It keeps you in the perpetual cycle of always having to thought, always having to think. And I was feeling last night this, as I was letting go of thought, as I was falling into pure awareness, as I was just letting go into the heart space, I felt this blissful darkness arise. I felt how, because I surrendered thought and because I wasn't giving interest to the thinking mind, and because I was just relaxing my awareness thoroughly and opening everywhere in my body and just deeply melting and relaxing everywhere, I felt how this energy was really starting to circulate, and it had this like crystalline texture, like this tingly, loving, soft, warm, soothing texture. It just felt so divine, and I felt it flowing through my body. While simultaneously, I could feel really intense darkness arising in the mind space. And it was almost like my mind, it wasn't almost like, it was like for me, I experienced my mind I was surrendering so deep into this energy that my mind at times would try to come up and grasp to an old self that had already died away and was already gone. But the mind was reaching for this old self, and the mind could feel and knew that, oh, it's gone. I can't go back to that old self even if I wanted to. And I had that realization as well, like, holy shit, that person I can't retreat into that person anymore because it's not there. And when I go to try to retreat into that old self, I find like, oh, it's just emptiness. And it's like, wow, I'm really dwelling within my own emptiness right now. And I could feel the mind almost have like this panicked response to not being able to grasp and feel and find the old self. And so this energy, as blissful as it was feeling, it also brought up this intense darkness in the mind space. And so much darkness came up in my mind space that I used to unconsciously label as evil. And I was feeling all of this darkness arise that I used to unconsciously label as evil, and I was seeing it from this perspective of the intelligence of life. I was seeing it as the intelligence of life because I was surrendered into my pure awareness. I wasn't in the mind space seeing it through the perception of fear. I was seeing it through the perception of wisdom. And I was seeing these darker thoughts and these darker energies that I used to consider evil unconsciously. I would never label anything consciously evil. I see that it's all one. I don't see good and evil consciously. But unconsciously, I saw that there are aspects within me that would label this evil, and I got to see these aspects that I used to consider evil as, oh shit, this is my power. This is my completeness. This is my wholeness as a being that's coming up. And so I just sat with this blissful darkness that was coming up into my field. And I was feeling how the bliss was meeting the darkness. And how the convergence of these two feelings was integrating my being in a deeper way, so that I could harness my light in a powerful way. So that I could, like this darkness was trying to show me all this energy when we surrender into it. And we let it start flowing. It's going to start flowing in our being freely, and it's going to start showing us aspects of ourselves that we were unconsciously putting walls up so that we wouldn't have to see it, because we were scared of it. When you really surrender into this energy, it's gonna show you all that you are. It wants to show you, it wants to bring everything you are into being, into beingness, it wants to integrate all of your darkness. And I was just watching these thoughts and these darker energies that I used to unconsciously label as evil, and I was seeing how beautiful they were, and how they were me, and how they were a part of me, that this energy, this ascension process now's the time for me to really integrate these really darker aspects of myself that I probably wasn't ready to integrate before now. And so because you guys are accelerating so quickly, and because you're growing so quickly, and so much light is filling your beings at such a rapid pace, life is going to start asking you to integrate parts of yourself that you weren't even ready to integrate even a month ago or 2 months ago. And that's why you're going to have super high connected moments, literally moments, where this energy is just flowing and there's bliss. And then a moment later, you're going to be hamstrung by a intense ascension symptom, because this energy is showing you, oh, hey, do you see this? I need you to open here to this. And we're going to be stuck in the symptom until we consciously open to what the energy is bringing forth for us to feel. But if you'll feel underneath the symptom, the darkness, the fear, the anger, the grief, whatever the light's trying to bring you, if you feel underneath it, you'll feel this peacefulness, this reservoir of peaceful, loving, warm, and supportive energy. And so while you're allowing yourself to feel the darkness, to feel your trauma, your pain, allow yourself to feel it while being surrendered into this warm, loving, and supportive reservoir that's always underneath it, that you can always feel into. And in this way, you'll allow this symptom, you'll allow yourself to really lean into this darkness, and you'll be able to just more smoothly integrate it. Because when you feel into that reservoir of support and warmth underneath it, that's always there, it helps you to not get sucked up into the mind, right? Because it's when we're experiencing an ascension symptom, no matter what it is, or when we're experiencing our own darkness, or our pain, or our trauma, it's when we're experiencing it through the thinking mind that it stays, and it just feels like it just hangs on forever and it just won't pass. But when we can experience the symptoms, the pain, the trauma, the darkness, in a surrendered state, where we are just letting go into the intelligence of life, letting go into our spacious nature, that's when we feel that reservoir of support and warmth and love. And then we detach from identity from the mind. We detach from judgment. We don't judge what we're feeling. And when we're not judging what we're feeling, we remain open to it. And when we remain open to it, we allow the energy, our light, the kundalini, we allow the energy to just naturally flow. And then this block, this pain, this trauma, this darkness, just more effortlessly just gets dissolved. And you don't have to do anything. This isn't a doing. This is just a letting the energy heal you through you. It's just about staying open. It's just about being willing to surrender thought, being willing to not contract and believe and give interest to every thought that comes up. Because the more space you start cultivating between thoughts, the more this energy within you can integrate and can flow. It's when we start getting jammed up and we don't have any space between our thoughts, that's when this energy gets really tangled up and can really start getting severe, because it's trying to wake us up out of thinking. It's trying to bring us to the present moment out of thought through pain and suffering. Because like I said yesterday, presence is your spiritual power. And the more presence you can cultivate, the more spiritual power you cultivate, which means the more energy can just flow through you, the more the prana can just flow through you, the more everything circulates naturally. Because this is what the energy wants to do. It's just when we get caught up in believing our conditioning and our thoughts that we really kind of get in our own way of allowing this energy to just heal us through us. So yeah, day 86. This is the movement I'm going through. This is a video where I'm very much talking to myself. I'm very much helping myself through this process. So I hope what I'm sharing also resonates with you guys. And there's one final tip or a pointer I wanted to give you guys about this process. Because this energy is helping us to step into our spiritual power, to step into presence, you might find a lot of energy really stuck up or blocked in your solar plexus. And this is because the solar plexus is the seat of your spiritual power, is the seat of your power. So this energy is really trying to get you to open there. And you'll notice if you've got stuck energy in the solar plexus, you'll when you feel into that, you'll notice you're clenching there. So if you can go into the solar plexus and just open, and then just open in the heart center, open in the throat center, open in the third eye and the crown, and then just stay completely open and relaxed, and allow your awareness to just literally relax. You'll notice when a thought comes up, you have to contract on it. And then when you contract on it, it leads to another thought. You contract on that, and it's just like this. It just keeps going. It's like a never-ending cycle. But if you can just stay open and relaxed, and allow your awareness to spread out, and to just literally feel your spacious nature, feel yourself as the silence. What happens is you start letting go of thinking, of believing your thoughts. And then this beautiful flow starts coming through you. this beautiful flow of energy. And of course, this energy is going to go show you your darkness, show you the things you don't want to see. And that's when it gets harder to not believe thoughts. But this is the movement. When it comes up, you just relax your awareness again. Let the darkness be there. Let it come up. And as your awareness is relaxed, as your body's completely melted, even while the darkness and the pain and the trauma is there, that's when you are fully shining the light of source, of pure awareness on this pattern, on this block, on this pain. And that's when it starts melting away. That's when it starts integrating into wholeness. And so that's the movement, guys. Just open, relaxed, connect to that reservoir of peace and love and support that's always there to be felt underneath anything painful, anything dark. So I feel like I've said enough on this. Day 86. I love you guys. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on day 87. Namaste.